Hello and welcome back to MoonClan. My name is Frosty and today we are picking up where we left off at Moon 74 going into 75 here with MoonClan. So last time, unfortunately, we had yet another cat murder. So regrettably, one of my favorite background cats, where she Blossom Current passed away at the paws of Palefur. So now we have quite a few murderers in the clan, one of which being Cold Shriek, our deputy. So we have Cold Shriek, Palefur, and I believe our only other cat that was a murderer has been, for better or worse, taken away, being Shimmerkick here. So hopefully we're getting to a point where this isn't going to keep happening, because I'm getting really tired of playing Among Us Clan Gen version. If I want to play Among Us, I want to play Among Us, not whatever we're doing right now. So fingers crossed the bloodshed is behind us, or MoonClan starts figuring out who all of these murderers are, so that way we can actually start getting to a better point. I genuinely did not want this to be like a very bloody, mysterious clan, and yet that's just what the game has decided we're gonna get anyway. So I know a lot of this has to do with the fact that we don't have a mediator to be mediating some of these hateful relationships the clan is just naturally forming, but we unfortunately, due to the nature of the challenge, cannot appoint one. So we just kind of have to live with it and hope that cats can resolve their differences peaceably, even though we don't have the best track record for that. So as per usual, we'll be jumping into it here today and seeing what happens. And hopefully we can start coming to justice here soon, because I can't have like half of the clan being murderers and half the clan being murdered. Like, I just can't do that for Clan Gen. So before we get into it, sorry again if you do hear any echoes. We're a lot more settled in now, but a lot of the stuff I was going to put up on the walls hasn't really stuck, so soundproofing definitely still has a lot to be desired, so fingers crossed it's not too bad. But if it is, I'm sorry, we're just gonna have to deal with the extra reverb for at least another week. I am going to be like picking up on classes and on like just school stuff in general here starting next week, so I'm gonna be a lot busier. That being said, I just don't know how uploads are going to be looking like from here on. I'm really going to do my best to keep it consistent, but that might mean having shorter episodes or less heavily edited episodes depending on things, and that same sort of thing applies to streams. I'm going to probably be putting off streams for a little bit here just to, continue getting settled and getting into that routine. And like, if I get, overwhelmed, then I'll cut things back a little bit. But if I think I can handle everything, then everything will resume as normal. And I do still have some other like secondary projects in the works, so since those take a little bit longer just because of the nature of them, it's just kind of constant background noise and they're slowly being chipped away at. I just was expecting to have been settled in, about a week ago, and now we're coming up on like being here for over 2 weeks now, so apologies for any delays on anything that was promised, because again, it's been a little bit hectic here, but got some fun art things coming and got some fun OC things coming kind of in that same thread. So thanks for your patience, and without any further ado, let's go ahead and jump into Moon 75, because we are 75 moons into this clan. Wow. Alright, so moving into Moon 75 for the clan. It is now summer, or Greenleaf again. We do not have enough healthy medicine cats, so cats will be sick or hurt for longer and have a higher chance of dying. I'm hoping that this prompt is coming up because we had some kittens due and not because something happened to a medicine cat. I know Hillpelt still has little ways to go in his training, so he's not, the most adept yet. But Blue Shade's a little bit further along, so hopefully he's being a good mentor here. We catch a glimpse of a rare bird during a hunting patrol. Its flight sparks a moment of awe before you refocus on the task at hand. Whenever I hear things like rare bird, I always just picture a blue jay just because they're, really striking, and at least I don't see them that often. A huge storm hits our territory. We work tirelessly to ensure every clanmate is safe. Okay. I usually associate storms more with New Leaf or with Leaf Fall, where a lot of the transition periods is happening with seasons. But that obviously doesn't mean that you'll never get a summer storm. So hopefully damage there is to minimum. Being so near to a lake, a lot of flooding could be a possible concern for the clan, of course. So as long as we're not going into an extinction flood or something here, I think we're fine. In the nursery, Sky Scratch lies suckling a single kitten. I know she did not want a big litter. Ravensong watches over them and purrs so hard their body vibrates. So we'll check out that little kitten here in a second. Frost Whisper mews congratulations to Moonfern for her job well done. Frost Whisper wants to spend more time with Icy Fin. Oh, and Snowleaf had a disagreement with Frost Whisper while on patrol earlier. Frost Whisper and Snowleaf have actually been really hitting it off a lot more lately, which is a pairing I'm a lot more inclined to actually endorse now that Snowleaf is no longer vengeful. But it sounds like there may be some tension in there still. I mean, if it's something about with a patrol, then that could be on any real number of things, honestly. It could be about something someone did on patrol, or it could just be about any topic we were discussing. So for health, we get Sky Scratch's news about their single kitten again. Lil Heart and Yarosar's running noses are gone. Golsat's joint pain is healing much better. Scorch Runner overexerted himself and is feeling very sore. Icy Fin no longer has a running nose. Blue Shade has gotten heat exhaustion, and Rabbit-Tail's stomachache has left. So Blue Shade unfortunately did get heat exhaustion, which was always a concern with Greenleaf, but that's probably the reason for the medicine cat prompt over the single kitten edition. I mean, I suppose it's very possible that single cat did put them above what the two medicine cats together could have properly cared for anyway, but obviously missing a more senior cat is going to be a much bigger factor. Lil Heart misstepped and slipped from a rock, but landed on their feet nimbly, their claymates commenting on the show of dexterity. Okay, well, luckily no broken bones, because we don't have enough medicine cats to actually try and heal that. Also, sorry if the audio is kind of shifting around a little bit here. I keep seeing dog out of the corner of my eye because I actually have a window to look out of now. And that's just very distracting for me because dog. Alrighty, Sinbad insisted on joining me, so he is now in the room with me. So if you hear any scratches, that's probably him. River is actually sleeping, so she probably won't be disturbing us too readily anyway. Alrighty, here is Sky Scratch's new single kit. Prim Kit, a newborn male with cyan and copper eyes, so he's got heterochromatia. I think I said that right. If not, editing Frosty put something up on the screen. But he also has a single stripe black pelt, so definitely taking after Ravensong once more in coloration. And he is bossy. So I'm excited to see him grow up a little bit because I just want to see the two different colored eyes there. Cyan and copper is also a really striking difference, I think. I genuinely can't really think of any colors that would be more opposite than those two, so Primkit is going to be very pretty, I think. But let's go ahead and see how everybody else is doing. Yarosar is currently eavesdropping on Rabbit-Tail. Cold Shriek is feeling excited. I'm a little concerned about that just because a lot of his positive traits I feel like kind of come at detriment to the clan, so fingers crossed that trend isn't gonna continue here. Blue Shade is checking up on the warrior, so even though he's sick, he is doing his best to care for the clan, which with just Hillshade here, or Hill Petal, we can only care for up to 15 members, so with a page and a half of cats, we're just a little bit over that. So fingers crossed Blue Shade feels better soon. Hill Petal is refusing to share gossip at the Half Moon meeting, however. So that is definitely his loyal trait coming through, whether that's loyalty to his clan or to individual cats. Sky Scratch saw a kitty pet sitting calmly next to a dog, so she's just keeping an eye on things from inside the clan. And I know she's been enjoying getting pampered by our 2 permanent queens in the nursery too. We are currently trying to set a good example for younger cats, which, you know, is kind of nice because Frost Whisper is usually antagonizing younger members of the clan. Raven Song is still grieving because of the loss of his kit Blossom Current, but he's wanting to critique Moscone's fighting techniques. I'd like to think that the birth of Primkit is helping to kind of get him out of that grief. Of course, Primkit is never going to replace Blossom Current, but, you know, new joy. Snowleaf is wanting to get to know Rabbitail better. Let's see how he lost a lot of romantic interest for us. We definitely still have a pretty good crush on him, but there's a lot more dislike there now. Honestly, Snowleaf likes Comfrey Foot a lot more than he likes us. And she is Weaselreed's mate, so that's a little bit messy, especially if that ends up getting pursued at all. She doesn't return the feeling, so it probably wouldn't be, but all the same. Unfortunately, we are insulting him. You're just a joke to me, and not a very funny one either. But it definitely sounds like it was a pretty serious argument, and it could be a pretty big disagreement about, you know, either morals or ethics, or it could even just be a vast difference in expectations for family planning. We don't really know Frost Whisper's orientation on kits, and it could be opposite to whatever Snowleaf wants, and that's a pretty irreconcilable difference there. Needledew is questioning everything. Needledew, maybe you can be our detective and actually figure out who is committing all of these murders. I guess something I haven't really considered is if any of these murderers are acting like in tandem with one another. I always felt like it was very isolated incidents, but just the sheer number of them that have been happening kind of makes me feel like there could definitely be a subsect of the clan that is in on this, so to speak. So Cold Shriek and Pale Fur are our 2 known. What are you touching? So Cold Shriek and Pale Fur are our 2 known murderers. They don't really have much of a relationship with one another, however. Shimmerkick and Pale Fur are related, so that could definitely be some kind of subsect there. But of course, there's a lot more to that relation and that family tree than just those 2. Pale Fur, meanwhile, is giving some advice to Moonfern, their parent. Honestly, Pale Fur I kind of see as being more independent than anything else, since he kind of was having familial issues with Moonfern, and then he seemed to almost just take out his temper on another cat that he didn't like permanently. So I kind of get the impression that Pale Fur was acting independently, but the other ones I'm not too sure on. Maybe there's a conspiracy going around. Maybe Needledew, with her troublesome nature and, you know, tendency to question everything, will be the one to find it out. Poor Poppy Eye had a nightmare involving a 2-legged trap. She's probably having nightmares about what happened to Shimmerkick, and since the clan still doesn't know that Shimmerkick is a murderer, is probably, you know, really empathizing with that fate. Fierceface is bravely offering to help the medicine cat pick herbs from a dangerous spot. See, the surprising fact to me is that Fierceface, who has a dark forest affinity, is a bold nature, so a little bit more abrasive, not necessarily evil, but abrasive. has not had any clear indications that he's going to be a murderer or anything crazy like that. And then it's like the really gentle facing cats that seem to really embark on a darker path. I would have expected the vengeful cats, dark forest cats. I would have expected them to have been more inclined to go down those kinds of dark paths, and yet they just haven't. Just goes to show you can't really put all your expectations forward. I see Finn is thinking about a strange feel-like object they saw recently. With his traits, sincere, polymath, and unnatural senses, I think he's actually pretty intellectual, so he might be trying to figure out what that object is. But we are talking to him. Oh, Frost Whisperer, I noticed you seemed a bit tired. Do you want some of my fresh kill? It might help. Maybe we're going through a lot of dreams right now trying to get to the bottom of all the murders since, you know, every time it happens, it probably raises memories about Greenfin and Frost Whisperer's relationship that never really got to see the light of day. Moonfern is picking up lullabies and tales to soothe restless kids, and we are talking to her. So, are the rumors about you and Snowleaf true then? It's all anyone around camp is talking about. They are? Oh. What do you see in them if you don't mind me asking? I see. They make you happy then? Well, I guess that's all that really matters. I'm glad you found someone, Frost Whisper. Maybe not for long. Even though... excuse me. Moonfern slinks away with her shoulders hunched, tail drooping. Aw, I really didn't want to hurt her feelings at all. I know she's had a pretty good relationship with us and a pretty long-standing crush. It's just not returned, sadly. Charred Rumble is meanwhile cherishing the small moments like the soft purring of contented kits. And then of course we've got Lil Prim Kit snuggling up in the belly of Sky Scratch and screaming about it. I think he's too young for us to actually, he's too young for the nursery queens to care for. But let's go ahead and do our patrol. The deputy is forming a border patrol. Should we volunteer? Sure. We join the patrol and do an excellent job securing the clan borders. Our vigilance is noted. Okay, we are into Greenleaf. We've got plenty of prey. So we can definitely recruit any cats we come across, and fingers crossed for mediators and med cats. We really need more of those. Warriors are fine. We're good on queens. Of course, that's probably not going to be how it's going to turn out, but we can hope. And I do think I'm going to send Hill Petal out with Poppy Eye for some hopeful help on gathering some herbs. And the two do gather some moss without any issue. Okay, our hunting patrol has come across a clearing of 2 legs. With our traits being sincere, lonesome, witty, and wise, I don't think they would risk this danger, especially Shimmerkick is at the forefront of everybody's thoughts, so we're not proceeding. Okay, so we're on border patrol with Yarrowstar, Palefur, and Golsat. We hear a cab begging for their housefolk to come back, just barely legible over the sound of a monster speeding away. So we are going to proceed. Unfortunately, we don't arrive in time and the cat was hit by a monster. And our reputation towards outsiders has worsened as a result. So, that's really disappointing. I don't know what we can try and even do to help with that recruitment. We've got really good, experienced cats, so there's nothing really there I can think of. Okay, we finally have some success on patrol. So far it's been all bad things. We've missed every single hunt and border was obviously not very good. But luckily, Snowleaf brings back a large amount of prey with the help of Fierceface and Fawnchalk. Okay, I just sent our last patrol on a random training thing and I just told stories and got a little bit closer, so honestly, a little bit disappointing. I was hoping for some good prey hauls or some new cats, but we'll keep our fingers crossed for next moon, which we're gonna dive into now. Okay, so moving into Moon 76 for the clan and a whopping 75 for Frost Whisper. We still don't have enough healthy medicine cats, so Blue Shade is not feeling better. We deflect the kid's question about where kits come from, so naturally that would have to just be Primkit who's inquiring, but I'm curious to see what he's gonna look like with his dual colored eyes in a second here. We lead a hunting patrol, our clanmates following our signals as we track a rabbit. We also practice our fighting moves, and never hurts to stay sharp. So we're staying right on top of it, and hopefully the clan is actually recognizing that so that we can, just garner some respect in the clan. Frost Whisper has definitely been pretty far removed from the clan in general, so it's always just good to remember that he's a part of something else. Frost Whisper has a friendly chat with Falcon Scratch that leaves them both feeling happy, and Frost Whisper acknowledges Fierce Face with a twitch of their whiskers. Okay, so two cats we don't normally talk to will actually get to exhibit today. Ravensong tells himself they can't let their feelings consume them, instead they have to learn to live with it. So Ravensong is overcoming their grief. Scorch Runner's soreness is gone. And the medicine cat from Clay Clan comes asking for herbs. They refuse to say why they need them, and we decide not to share our precious few catmint. I mean, our stores are definitely better than they were before, but catmint especially is a pretty precious resource, and in Greenleaf, I don't really see green cough being too much of a problem. So I think that might have been the best move. Okay, so other clans is just the same. We've got quite a few miscellaneous things here today. So Pigeonflick believes that they are part of a new prophecy, hopefully about overcoming the murderers. Moonfern went missing for a few days, and Little Heart is caught outside of the clan's territory. Liar Rush misstepped and slipped from a rock but landed on their feet nimbly, their clanmates commenting on the show of dexterity. Okay, so Little Heart is a blatant strike because they were outside the territory. Moonfern going missing, I think I've said it before, that's kind of one of the more gray area ones for me. I've been leaning towards being harsh just because, I want to make sure that everything is trying to stay entertaining here. So I've been, causing the going missing to be a strike because if you're not leaving the territory, why are you going missing? Sort of a logic there. Moonfern I don't really see wandering away or leaving the clan at all. Honestly, just given the fact that she got kind of softly rejected last moon, I can see her wanting to take some time away. And I can see that definitely being a moment of reflection for her. So Moonfern I don't think is malicious at all. Lil Heart, honestly, I don't even think his would be malicious either, but we're gonna count as a strike because again, he was blatantly caught outside the territory. So I'll go ahead and add that in. Okay, so strike 1, Moon 76 for being outside the territory. I don't think that Moonfern is going to have any strikes. No, she doesn't. And again, I don't really want to give her this strike just because I can so clearly see why she would have taken some time. That being said, I'm going to have to figure out if that means that we are removing... Ooh, look at that. That's kind of crazy. Yeah, I genuinely don't think I could have thought of a more drastic difference in eye color there. That is super pretty though. Honestly, kind of just makes it look like one eye is injured over the other one. So I guess that's food for thought. If Primkit ever gets an eye issue, we could say that one or the other is blind. And there's all kinds of reasons for that, but so pretty. He's currently telling Moscow to hurry up already. Sorry, got distracted there. But what that means is I might have to go through and do all of the strikes. I know people have been asking me to, remove some of the older strikes and to kind of reevaluate how we're doing strikes. So I'm gonna go ahead and leave this where it's at for now and go ahead and leave comments down below for how we can clean up the strikes. So effectively what I'm looking for is, at what point do we want to say strikes are just forgotten? They're no longer remembered. I want to say 25 moons and older is fine. Is that too lenient? Is that too harsh? Let me know. And I guess what kind of traits would be worthy of removing a strike? So saving a cat could be a good choice. Like, you know, if a cat's getting swept away by water and someone jumps in and saves them. So that could be removing a strike. But would Frost Whisper also be getting strikes removed for some of the LifeGen events? You know, there's quite a lot of historically, heroic events that you can have in LifeGen. So it's like, you help evacuate your clan, you help in a war, you help do this. Do those kinds of traits also count? So I guess let's just define what acts of heroism could eliminate a strike. And as far as the kind of middle of the road options go, I think it's just going to be safer to say all of X is going to be, a strike no matter what, and all of Y is not. So is going missing for a couple of days strike worthy? Being outside the territory is, but does going missing constitute as that? And furthermore, code breakers are kind of treated situationally. Do we want to kind of keep doing it how we have been, or do we want all code breakers to just be exiled, or all code breakers to only get one strike no matter what? So that's just a lot of food for thought, I know. Sorry to kind of dump all that on. We've got quite a few other suggestions over the past few videos, but I think this is going to be the one for the essays on how exactly we want to handle this going forward. Yarstar is a pretty young leader, so this is kind of the time for him to be undergoing reform in the clan. So I think it kind of makes sense that now he's a bit more established, he can actually be tackling some of the bigger questions. So let me know your thoughts. I'm sure there's plenty of other situations that are going to arise that aren't going to be covered by what I just discussed. It's clan gen, there's a million possible, events, and a lot of them are situational, seasonal, and rare. So we're gonna have to just do the best we can with those, but let's try and establish what those parameters should be, and we can hopefully keep some good cats in the clan. Alright, so thank you for bearing with me on that. Let's go ahead and check out our cats. We already got a sneak peek with Prunkit. The RSR is currently thinking about new ways to care for the clan. Okay, so fittingly enough, maybe this is when he is starting to think about how to reform the punishment system. Cold Shriek knows a perfect location to gather prey. Last time he disappointed, so maybe he's up for some redemption. Blue Shade is craving the taste of fish. Maybe Snowleaf can get you some since Frost Whisper has a type. And poor Hill Petal made a mess of the herbs and is panicking. We definitely have more herbs now, so that could be a bit more of an issue now than it was before, so good luck, Hill Petal. So Pigeon Flick is hoping that StarClan protects their loved ones. She's faithful, a listener of all voices. We haven't really talked to her in a second, actually, but she also believes she's part of a new prophecy, so I can see her maybe getting a clue as to the murders and maybe trying to figure that out. I really want to leave it up to the game to actually try and deduce who killed whom, but if you want me to make one of those event generators again just to see who can at least get clues, and we can keep track of that alongside strikes, and then like if someone accumulates 3 clues all together, they can find out a murderer. We can also try doing that. But Pigeon Flick may be instrumental in that process if we do decide to go down that route. Once again, we are trying to set a good example for younger cats. So maybe we saw something we were doing isn't working. Weaselraid is also trying to set a good example for younger cats, so either we're getting up there in age and we're starting to feel that responsibility, or we're recognizing we've got some ways to go. Raven Song also is trying to set a good example. So the 3 brothers are doing their best to be role models. Falcon Scratch is purring all night, so full of love for their fellow warriors. I love Falcon Scratch. He's the kind of cat everybody needs in their clan. We're talking to him today, too. Hey, Frost Whisper, do you need an escort for anything? I'll have to spend more time with you, and what's a better way than helping you around? Okay, we can go on a patrol with Falcon Scratch, if I remember that this time. Palefur is feeling happy. I think that's more of a dig at us than it is at anything else. I thought that Chirpbag had a bow at first, and then I remembered that he had a worm friend just sitting on his little head. He's currently giving some advice to Scorchrunner, maybe about how to get a worm friend too. I just love the accessories in this game, honestly. Fierceface is once more bravely offering to help the medicine cat pick gourds from a dangerous spot. We are talking with him too. Hey Frost Whisper, I overheard you talking earlier. Can't say I agree with you, but that's just me being me. Okay, that could mean a lot of things, but maybe I will send him along with Hill Petal to gather some herbs this time, since he was kind of an obvious choice last go and I just didn't even consider that. Moonfern is assisting a queen with particularly mischievous kits. So we'll go ahead and try playing Moss Ball with Primkit, who bravely charges at Moonfern to take the ball, stealing it from under their paws and winning the round of the game. Courage 1. Chardrumble has their ears curling at every moment outside of camp. Still not really sure what that means. Maybe it's just airplane ears and, uncertainty outside of camp. I can see that being true for cats that don't normally leave camp. But let's see what she wants to do with Primkit today. Chardrumble tries to teach Primkit about the dangers of eating herbs without consulting the medicine cat, but they seem more engrossed in playing with a feather instead. So this means we got Courage 1, Intelligence -1. Primkit is telling Mothgun to hurry up already, and we are talking to him. Hee hee, Primkit laughs over and over as Moonfern makes funny faces at them. That's just so cute. I just still can't get over this combination, I'm sorry. Let's go ahead and do our patrol though. During a hunting patrol, we spot a large plump squirrel. However, it's close to the border and crossing could lead to a skirmish. We decide to respect the border and lead the squirrel. Our clanmates commend our respect for the code. I'm not getting us a strike for a LifeGen patrol or something crazy, so of course, I'm not doing that. As the Medicine Cat's patrol pads out into MoonClan territory, Fierceface tells Hill Petal about the dream they had last night and what the vision could mean for MoonClan. They have an in-depth conversation about the vision as they walk, and by the time they head back to camp, they have a good idea of what to do with the information. And they gather rosemary. Okay, so another option too for the whole murderer thing is to keep track of how many visions a cat has and can actually, make sense of. And once they reach a certain number, then they can get a message from StarClan about the murderer in their midst. So that's another way we can approach this. Alright, so we're on patrol with Yarostar, Ravensong, and Golstat. Golstat notices some suspicious paw prints, so we are proceeding. They lead to a trespassing rogue, and we quickly set ourselves up in an ambush and send them off of our territory. I was still, again, hoping for some recruitment, but I guess this is a success nonetheless. Alright, we don't bring much home, since Weaselreed's ambition got a little bit over his actual skill level. So hopefully Greenleaf we actually get something good, since we haven't had amazing luck hunting or recruiting. Pigeonflick sees 2 kids from Crooked Clan playing close to the border. We'll proceed. And we decide to go actually to their clan with the kits, where they are immediately greeted by the leader who recognizes Pigeonflick, knowing them to be a kind, caring cat, and thanks both Pigeonflick and Palefur sincerely for bringing the kits back. Relationships have improved. Once again, our hunting patrol only brings back a very little amount of prey. And our last hunting patrol only gets a sprain. Lyrush is going down hard on a misjudged pounce and stands up with the winds. Snowy trots over, telling them to take it easy and lean on them as they limp home. So, Greenleaf is not going well this moon. In their last patrol does not even get a chance to recruit, but we do have a nice conversation with BlizzClan. And we are jumping into Moon 77. Alright, it looks like this is a pretty uneventful... Oh, I forgot to patrol Falcon. Anyway, this looks like a pretty uneventful moon as well, surprisingly. We participate in a large hunting party to prepare for Leaf Bear. During a thunderstorm, we reassure the terrified Primkit. Their calm yielding soothes your own fears. So yeah, again, it's like, how much of a line are we drawing? Is it actively saving a cat from hurt? Whether that's, a minor injury or death, or is it even something as simple as this for removing strikes? No, it looks like we were talking a lot more with the clan this go, though. Frost Whisper's having a wonderful time discussing recent clan news with Primkit. Frost Whisper sees that Rabbitail's piece of prey looks tastier and asks if they'd like to swap. They agree happily, saying they like that one better. Frost Whisper is hoping that Snowleaf notices them. Von Shock is annoyed by our negative comments. Moscone appreciates us telling them that they had a feather stuck to their face. Fierceface saw Frost Whisper show off a skill they never knew they had. Okay, mostly positive too, so that's pretty nice. I just don't know if this pair is gonna work though. Frost Whisper and Snowleaf have so many ups and downs and turnarounds. I don't know if they're ever gonna figure it out at this rate. But we'll have to just leave it to time because I can't influence anything. Cry? Uh-oh. So Palefur and Fierceface have gotten fleas. Hopefully it's not going to be an epidemic. Blueshade's heat exhaustion has abated, so that's good. I kind of figured since we didn't have any prompts about medicine cats this moon. But Rabbitail has gotten heat exhaustion, so fingers crossed now with enough cat hands on deck, we are going to be able to heal everybody up nice and easy. Alright, let's see how everyone's doing though. Yarosar is performing a big brain maneuver. Okay, so I guess that could be whatever, edicts we decide to pass this go. Cold Shriek is chatting with Blueshade about what it's like to be a medicine cat. Meanwhile, Blueshade is having a nightmare involving the rushing river nearby. Hill Petal is batting at their tail. Honestly, I kind of just get the impression that with not a lot going on, the clan has been having a pretty chill moon, just hanging out and talking, really. With such a big surplus of prey, there's no reason not to take a good break. We're currently feeling unappreciated. I mean, fair enough. I do feel like we do quite a bit for the clan, but that could also just be the disproportion of LifeGen patrols too. Snowleaf is trying to set a good example for younger cats. We are talking to him. Seems like practically every cat I talk to these days is all about patrols and busy work. Doesn't anyone have anything more important to say? We already waste like over half our lives doing mindless chores. Do we have to talk about it in our free time too? Why don't we dedicate our precious time to discussing something more meaningful? Like how patchy Comfreyfoot's fur is looking lately. I definitely kind of agree with this general mentality. There's just so much, the older you get, that you kind of have to do, and it's never pleasant tasks, so you may as well find what joy you can where you can find it. So if there's something that you enjoy doing, just pursue it wholeheartedly. That's my best advice there. Fawnchuck is picking burrs from their pelt. Fortunately, she's the only one we're insulting this time. Huh? Is that really true? Who else agrees with you? Did Weaselry tell you to say that? Fawnchuck rushes off in a panic. I feel like it's really mean to be constantly picking on her because A, she's related, and B, she's a nervous cat and she's probably pretty insecure, so I feel like we're just constantly picking at, a soft spot for her. That's just not nice. Moscone is wanting to critique Comfreyfoot's fighting techniques. We are talking to him too. Hey, do you think Weaselry is mad at me? We ask why they think the warrior could possibly have a problem with them. When they greeted me this morning, they said hello instead of hi like they usually do. Of course, they don't hate you. You really don't think so? Guess I'm probably freaking out over nothing again, huh? I just can't help it. My whole life I tried so hard to please others, to be the type of cat that folks want to be around. The idea of someone not liking me is worse than anything in the world. Well, maybe not worse than spiders, but still, you know what I mean. I get it. Do you really? Sigh, thank you for listening to me, Frost Whisper. It's not often that someone lends a listening ear. Well, and actually understands what I'm saying. You're a really special cat. I mean, I feel like we're kind of again in a loose mentorship role with him since he is also a dreamwalker. So I think we probably do have some kind of kinship with him just for that reason alone. I feel like Moscow really blends into the background a lot though, so it's good to see him featured even if we're just, soothing some insecurity. Pierce Face saw a big scary dog today. Hey, Frost Whisper, dare me to jump off the warriors then. Okay. Heh, alright. With a devilish grin, Pierce Face scrabbles at the warrior's head and cranes off the flying leap, tail helicoptering. They land right on top of a pile of moss Moscone had been meticulously gathering, sparking an argument. Yeesh, better leave the scene before you get roped into this. Oh, that's just such a hilarious imagery though. I love that interaction. Props to whoever thought of that one. Rabbitail is looking on as others share tongues around the camp clearing. We are talking to her. Rabbitail sits next to you quietly. They make no move to fill the silence, seemingly enjoying it. I definitely think she's a bit of a wallflower, so I think that's something that Frost Whisper can understand and get behind too. Moonfern is keeping calm demeanor amidst nursery chaos. Primkit shows an impressive strategic mind when facing Moonfern in a play fight, their skills nearly rivaling an apprentice's. So intelligence is back up to neutral. Chartrumble is also keeping a calm demeanor amidst nursery chaos. But Primkit becomes frustrated when they can't find the things that Chartrumble hid for them in a scavenger hunt. Intelligence is back down to -1. So I take it that maybe Chartrumble is having a bit more advanced intelligence moves and Primkit at his age just can't quite keep up. So that would be my guess for why Moonfern is bringing out a bit more potential maybe. Primkit, meanwhile, is hunting bugs. What's wrong with him? Hee hee? Primkit laughs over and over as Moonfern makes funny faces at them. So, same as last time. Alright, let's go ahead and do final patrol. During a hunting patrol, we spot a large plum squirrel. However, it's close to Clay Clan border and crossing it could lead to a skirmish. We're not going to get the squirrel regardless, so we decide to respect the border and leave the squirrel, and our claymates commend us for our respect of the code. It's not worth any possible real effects for. Hill Petal can't quite figure out what's Sansy, so they leave it. Oh my gosh, I love this artwork. This is so cute. They're so happy with the bees. Greenleaf is surely the best time of year to be a medicine cat with the world so full of flowers and green growth. Blueshade heads out to gather fresh goldenrod for the stores. The many stems of goldenrod surround Blueshade as they work, snipping off stems and clumps of tiny yellow flowers spring back to the stores. Goldenrod was gathered. Oh, I love this so much though. Alright, I meant to send us on a hunting patrol this time, but I accidentally selected random, so we are discussing rumors we've been hearing of a badger denning in a certain part of the territory. We are on patrol with Lightpelt, Pigeonflick, and Ravensong. We'll proceed since it's a danger to the clan. Once we find a set, we discuss our next move. If the badgers moved in, they need to confirm, but how? Eventually we come up with a plan, stuffing bushes into the mouth of the set. The cats will be able to come back tomorrow to see if anything is mooted out of the way. Okay, our actual border patrol notices Clay Clan up ahead, renewing set marks. Once patrols cross path, Poppy Eye is quick to break the awkward atmosphere with a friendly greeting. They pause to converse for a while, Poppy Eye bringing up a story that, while slightly embarrassing for them, is entertaining and lighthearted, with the patrols partying in good spirits. Relationships have improved. Once again, we don't bring back very much prey from hunting. Luckily, Moscone resists the temptation of eating some prey, going on to make a couple of great catches to make sure the elders are fed, and we get a large amount of prey brought back to camp. I do suppose this is another one of those patrols that could possibly lead to a cat breaking the code. And I guess it's also a question of a cat could get away with it here. But if they're caught or even suspected, how do we deal with that, So just consideration. Alright, final border patrol. Oh, we're tracking the scent of a large dog at the edge of our territory. Yarsar, Palefur, and Lilhart are all on this patrol. I don't think Yarsar would let a dog go into his territory. We chatted with the dog, sending a message back to camp. It's an exhausting and stressful day, but by the time night falls, they've confirmed the dog is leaving the area, and the patrol has assured MoonClan's safety. Best case scenario there, but it was definitely slim pickings for Greenleaf. We pretty much got nothing or a lot on all of our hunting missions, and a lot was definitely a lot less than the nothing was, so even in terms of food and herbs, it was kind of slim pickings for Greenleaf, so fingers crossed that means that, we're not in for like a rough fall or winter. I can see that being the case, but I really hope it's not. We already have had to rebuild from basically nothing, so I don't want to do that again, like for the second year in a row, basically. But yeah, I think that's where we'll go ahead and leave it off here as per usual. We'll be going to Leaf Fall next episode. Feel free to leave comments with all of the suggestions or thoughts that you have on the strike system, how we want to possibly amend that going forward, and just in general, how we want to possibly be treating these murders, because I don't think I really trust the game to actually figure it out in a timely manner yet. So I think the vision or the generation could be a good compromise. Even with the generator thing, just to put that out there, that doesn't necessarily mean a cat will be getting a clue every moon. It would only be a chance for a clue, and then everybody has a chance of finding that. And if the murderer finds that, then maybe that resets somebody else's evidence, So, just something to consider. Fingers crossed that's, acceptable, I guess, and we can actually maybe figure some stuff out that way if we go that route. But yeah, just let me know. Thank you for watching up to this point. I hope you've enjoyed. Feel free to check out links in the description down below for alternative ways to support me and links to other social media that I'm gonna try and be better about using. No promises, just because, again, school's picking up and I don't know how much time I'm gonna have moving forward. Fingers crossed that there will be no disruption and my concern is just unvalidated. But thank you especially to Parental Unit for supporting the channel, as that is greatly appreciated. But until next time, everybody, stay safe, stay happy. I'll see you all then, and bye!